the lunar eclipse is behind us. Now what? What do we do with that? So we just experienced 2 weeks of the eclipse season. So ideally, you use this time to let go of things that don't serve you, of old patterns, limiting beliefs. Now, if you haven't done that, that's fine. Just really assessing. I mean, there are plenty of people who don't want to do that deep inner work, and there's nothing wrong with it. Now, a lot of people that are, talking about these events, about the energies, are going to go ahead and tell you, make the most of this time because, it will never happen again or whatever. It's like once in every 50 years. And no, you always have opportunities. Life is always working for you. You can't miss out. Because, and this is what kind of a lot of those people are playing on, is like, the FOMO. It's fine. Loving yourself for where you are right now, loving yourself for the fact that maybe you weren't ready to let go of some of the patterns. And will you probably repeat them? Yes, but can you love yourself through that shift, through going through that point in your life that there's no wrong, and loving yourself exactly where you are. With that said, this is point number 1. Point number 2, the things that you were able to let go of right now is just like when I do energetic work with clients, for example, we release that which doesn't serve, but in its place, you have to fill it with something. So in the next few days, actually, we have the weekend right now, I strongly recommend for you to really be mindful of what is it that I want to create and having fun with this. So ideally doing this after spending some time in nature or just sitting in your home, just in a peaceful place, maybe just with a cup of coffee or tea, and just having a moment. Because if you don't do that, if you jump into these questions from the mind, your mind's going to go into, well, these are the practical things, or this can happen, this can't. This is realistic and this isn't. I know for myself in my own journey, I remember when my teacher was guiding me through just what do you want to create, I would bypass that because I was so afraid of disappointment. Like, what if I put all my eggs in this basket and it gets ruined and it's done and that's it and I'm left with nothing? So I don't want to be open and honest about what I want, because what if I can't have it? What if I allow myself to dream fully, then I don't want to experience the pain of that disappointment. Can you let go of that? Can you let go of any attachment to the result and just know that life's got you, life is supporting life? And that means that it's safe for you to surrender the result, because any result will be more magnificent than you can possibly imagine. Now, this does come with some work, and this is why I do my one-on-one work. And Edith and I just create a course, The Confident Connected Women, for women to really learn to trust life, to surrender to that, and just allow things to come to you rather than thinking, oh, it's in the doing, it's in the, thinking. It's not, because to begin with, our senses are the last thing to perceive reality. And actually, there's research that, your sight comes with a delay. So we can't utilize these resources to really accurately predict anything, because the things that we're using are not accurate, okay? So can you trust life? Can you surrender to something greater than you? And the mind is included in this. The mind goes into, all these... this is why I said take some time in nature, take some time for yourself, because it's from that heart's calling, from your soul, that you receive that inspiration. And the mind is responsible for, how do I make that happen, right? How do I create it in the outer world? So can you allow that? So right now is a great time, just like I said, pattern interrupt, come out of the thinking mind, do something you love, something that lights you up. And from that place, you get to ask, what do I want to create? And just as a child, right? As a child drawing a big castle, like, ooh, I'm going to be a king in this castle and I'm going to live there and it's going to be fantastic. They didn't go into as a practical, right? They don't go into, okay, well, how many, is that going to happen in 5 years? Like, do I have to make it, what's my 5-year plan to get there? They just dream for the sake of dreaming. And then from that place, that's when the mind comes in and we have action steps. But first, can you just allow yourself fully to receive? Can you go into, who do I want to be? What does the best version of myself look like? Feel into it. This is really key here. Feel into it. And I get this, that this is going to be so hard for people who feel disconnected from themselves. Like, I don't even know how I feel about this decision that I'm going to make, or about a friend or family member. I don't know how I'm feeling about that, but you want me to feel through my life. It's a muscle that has to be trained. And it's okay if you sit down with this practice and you have resistance. That's all right too. Just being consistent with it. I'm showing up and I'm creating space for this dreamer in me to come through. And as you do that, that dreamer, and it's the inner child that gets more comfortable. It trusts you more, and this is how you begin to build inner trust within yourself. So, and what's coming up right now, the throat energy center is really calling to address this. A lot of people have this here blocked. So when you sit down to do, maybe actually feeling someone who's there like, oh, I'm going to do that, but I can't. I can't because the center is blocked, right? So vocalizing this, and I addressed this in the last Motivation Monday, which was a live, how to work with these energies. Vocalizing, what am I afraid of? And it doesn't have to be big or small. And it can be anything, like really just, I am afraid of, and what comes up for you. And it can be heights, it can be spiders, it can be snakes, it can be failure, whatever it is, doesn't matter how big or small, just, and I'm afraid of, and do those about 5 times. Clear this energy center right here so you can, that expression, because this is the personal expression, this is speaking your truth, sharing your voice. It's, what do I really want? Can't come out if this is blocked right here. If all of them are blocked, but it really comes out a lot with the voice and personal expression. So allowing yourself this time, really just setting an alarm 20 minutes. And sometimes it will be painful to sit through those 20 minutes like, I don't know, or like, okay, I wrote everything that I want. But oftentimes those things come from the mind. So allowing yourself to go in there. Now, if this was useful, please, and if you're new here, please subscribe, like this so I know this resonated. Let me know your comments below. How open are you to going into that dreamer archetype, going into what is it that I really want? Are you holding back? Or maybe some people are actually, they're really open and, oh, I want to create all of this. But when it comes to taking the action steps, that's when they hold back. So let me know where you are so that I can address that and create content, build content specifically on that. On this note, I thank you so much for being here, and I'm wishing you, the powerful creator that you are, a powerful day.